Good morning. This is video blog assignment number 3. It is approximately 4:50 a.m. on the 19th of April. I'm well aware that this assignment is late at this point. After multiple attempts, it's finally hoping that this video itself is acceptable to YouTube. This assignment digs deep into really how personal I feel the computer and the internet really digs into a person's life, in my opinion, of course. What the first question is, according to the article, what are the advantages and disadvantages of mining for personal data from the internet? Advantages, I feel, and the maybe the article itself feels the advantages really come from the business side of things. Like mentioned in the statement, an individual goes on ESPN, and then after they're looking at ESPN for a while, they start to understand that their favorite teams are maybe in the LA city or the Dallas city or the whatever city they tend to view most. And as a result, they start to generate a tickets in the area surrounding them, and helps kind of generate, for lack of better terms, tickets that they might be interested in. For example, in the readings, there was Kings tickets, but if I'm constantly on the Angels website, I can't tell you how many different times on the right or left hand side you're able to find different links to allow yourself to maybe purchase tickets to the Angels game that night. So that's just an example of an advantage of what the businesses are dealing with on a daily basis. That's on a small scale. Another thing that really wasn't kind of touched upon, but kind of is maybe prevalent in my daily life, is work for a bank. I work in the banking industry, and it was touched on in the article, but really I can't emphasize enough how much I work for Bank of America, and how much that's used in generating systems like this, generating offers for maybe who's apropos for a credit card or whatever it may be. I really can't find too many advantages, I should say, for the consumer. It's almost like the consumer is extremely vulnerable, and it creates that creep factor for the consumer. But if you're a business owner, you're in hog heaven right now. Um, Disadvantages, like I mentioned before, have got to be for the consumer, but for a business aspect, they mention in here the creep factor. They also mention a little bit about if your searches aren't correct, and depending on your system, you could be looking at not things that are necessary for your business. You could get data that might not be apropos for what you're looking for, but I guess at that point, too much data can never be too, much, for lack of better terms. What is my take on the article? A little bit previously mentioned before. For me or other people, I think it's scary, because it really kind of lets you know that there's nothing that you can put, if you so much as do a simple search, it's not going to be kept to yourself. There's no privacy whatsoever. Feels like all privacy factors have been pulled from within you. There's no freedom of search, freedom of, I mean, I use the term freedom is, speech, but set minus the search, because there's no freedom for search. Somebody knows that you're looking. For businesses, I think it's amazing. It's everything that a business could ever want. It helps them sell goods. It helps them find their target audiences. It helps them find the target consumer. It helps them find their consumers. It helps them generate leads. It helps them generate numbers so that way they can further expand their business, as well as it creates another market of just for advertisements and different things like that, on why people want to look at their website. Because if they're getting a lot of views, like mentioned in here, in Bank of America, to quote a couple figures, Bank of America, my simple company, gets 24.6 million views. I mean, how simple would it be from Bank of America to throw up an ad on there for some sort of type of American Express credit card, which they already do, just by personal knowledge. And now people want to look at that because there's so many people that do look at that website. A small example. For government, I feel like it's everything. It allows them to, quote unquote, illegally search and obtain legal information with the quote unquote not being illegal on how they do that, because it's you, the consumer, and you, the internet user, are providing this for them subconsciously. You don't know that they have the access to this information, but it helps them, and it gets them an edge on what they need to know about the American people, or whatever kind of people. Virtually anybody can pull this information. The future, it only looks to me like it could get scarier. It, I mean, you could, I mean, there's no tell on how much deeper this could possibly go. The privacy issue being resolved, unless data becomes more skewed and it becomes skewed, and it becomes not as worthy, or not as proficient, or not as, that's the only way that data can't get better. I mean, it can only go up from there, because people are continually to get smarter, and all those things are at vulnerability because of the amount of technology and the way that people can be able to find things about their consumers with the simple click of a mouse. I mean, it's almost frightening. Once again, I apologize for being so incredibly late, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.